So, welcome to tonight's class. So, we are still in SQL and we are getting there. Very soon, we'll be done with it. So, now we'll be looking at regular expression in SQL. Like I said, it's similar to like, which you've already known. So, but it's more flexible than like. So, let's look at it. At this point, we are no longer babies in SQL. So, I've already prepared down the codes. So just for us to have a look. So this is regular expression. Regular expression in SQL. A regular expression, reg-es, is a pattern used to search, match, or extract specific parts of text based on rules you define, just like where. So let me open my stuff. So this is it. They say regular expression functions. So far, you have already known about wildcards like operator, but in cases, wildcards may fall short for some advanced use cases. Regular expression comes into picture. You can call it anyhow you choose to call it. So it's a sequence of character used to search and locate specific sequence of character that match a pattern. So let's look at it. Like I said, I already have the code written down. So I will just copy this. I will take it to my local. So So making use of this our table, the movies table. Now the first question is, can you name a movie that starts with letter E? How do you do that in like? A movie that starts with letter E. So this is how to achieve that with like, as we all already know. Select everything from movies where title like E. So if I run this, it's returning all the movies with the title that starts with E. So that is how we do that in like operation and operator rather. So now if I count this, so let me count it. So if I should count this, so that is 212 movies, 212 movies. Let me drag this down a bit. So now let's look at how we can also achieve that using regular expression. So I will just copy this. Look at it. Select everything from movies where title reg exp You see how we make use of it now. Regular, use this character, then followed by E. If I run this, it's going to return all the movies that starts with E for me. So let's validate ourselves to be sure that it's the same thing that the like operator did. So let's also count it. So this is it. So if I count this now, it's still 212, 212. So that means both methods still the same purpose. Whether you use like, whether you use regular expression, it's still returning the same. So that is it for that. So now let's look at question 2. Can you name a movie that ends with letter E? How do you do that using like? This is it. So this is how you achieve that with like. Select everything from movies where title like percentage before E. So now this thing will return everything that ends with letter E, right? So you can, let's validate ourselves by counting it. Can count. We can count. Why is this thing misbehaving? So far we've done this once. This is the one we are doing now. So let's look at this. If we should run this, is 1531 movies, 1531 movies. So how do we achieve this with regular expression? So this is it. So say select everything from movies where title rec ESP, then E, and you end it with a dollar sign. So if we run this, it's returning everything that ends with E. So let's validate ourselves to be sure that it's the same thing the like is doing. Okay, I think there is a blank this thing. There is a blank rows, and that one did not consider the blank rows. So it's still the same thing. Returning the movies that end with E. You can see now with everything is returning ends with E. Just like in your like when you're making use of like. So I think that is everything is fine, right? So let's get to where regular expression is more flexible than your normal like operator. Say now you say find the customers which email address having a Z, V, and P. So now they're asking us to find customers with which their email address has Z in it, has V in it, has P in it. You know now in like that if you are looking for something that contains, let's say Z, you know how to do that. So we also have that in regular expression. So you can do that on your own. So but now let's look at now. What if you are asked to find customer email address that has Z in it, V in V, and or P? So how will you do this? This is how to achieve that using like. So I'll paste this. Say select everything from movies where title like. You see now this is how you make use of. What does this one means now? It's returning everything that contains Z. The ones I just run, this block of code I highlighted. So we return everything that ends with that contains Z, whether they start with Z or not, but they must have Z in it. So now we are asked to return everything that contains ZVP. So this is how to write it. Where title like Z or title like V or title like P. If you see have it and so on and so if I run this, it's going to return everything that has Z, whether that might have Z, V, or P in it. So that is what, if you look at this one as P, if you look at this one, what does this one has? This one has V. So, but now, look at this. This is kind of like lengthy, right? But look at how you can achieve this with regular expression with ease. So now let me copy this and paste it here. Look at regular expression. Say select everything from movies where title rec exp. You just put Z, V, and P inside square bracket. And if you run this, you're just returning the same thing. If you look at this guy has P in it, this guy has V in it. So let's validate ourselves to be sure. So let's just validate ourselves. So if I run this, returning 3199 movies. So if I use the same here, returning 3199. So that means both are doing the same thing. But can you see how clean this one is? Very simple. Unlike, imagine you have like 10 characters, will be doing or title, but with this one, just use the square bracket to put the 10 characters. Simple. So this is how flexible regular expression is. So now let's look at another one. So this is the last one we'll be looking at. You say, okay, List all movies whose title begin with letters V. True. Let me cut it. So list all movies whose title begin with letters V through Z. So it's just like what we did. Look at now this one now. Select everything from movie where title like V or title like W. Imagine X, Y, Z. Now you're just looking for movies that their title has contains V to Z. So look at how we achieve that here. So if I should run this, you can see the result. So let's validate ourselves. That is 4529, right? So we have the same thing here. Look at regular expression. Select everything from movies where title rec exp using square bracket, just say V dash Z. So if you run this, it's returning the same thing. So let's validate ourselves. 454529. Okay. What did we have here? 4529. So you can see how easy it is. So like this other one, you can see say VWSYZ, or you just say V to Z. So you can see how flexible regular expression is, unlike your like. So both are like, it's just like the same thing, but regular expression, your code is more cleaner, like short, and it makes sense, unlike making use of like. So that is just it. You can still browse about regular expression on your own. You can still look at it too on your own. So that is it for regular expression. Any question?
So
Yeah.
it's not a question per se, just like an observation. In using that or title like, I feel maybe writing the code instead of writing or title like, if you just use select everything from movies where title like, then you put out the instead of the O or title like, you can just put or not putting the title like. Will it still work?
Good question. So let's check ourselves if it's going to work. Right? So nothing like title like or. This is what you are saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me drag this guy up. It looked like it works, right? But it's not accurate. It didn't work. Why? Because look at the count. What is it giving us? 1276. But let's look at the other one we did. Where is the other one? This is the one I copied, right? You can see now. That is to tell you that using or this is not accurate, it's not correct. So this is a right thing to do. Title like. So using the or is not giving you correct the correct result that you are supposed to have. So this is how to do it. Do it this way. So if you do it the other way, you won't have the accurate result. All right. I would have just said no, it's not possible, but this I have to do it so that we now validate it and see that it's not accurate doing it that way. So you have to say where title like, so keep return or title like, so just like that.
Sir,
Yeah.
do we necessarily have to like do it the first way? Like, can't we just do it the second, use the second method I use instead of, you know, writing it one by one by one? We just use the second method, that ZVP in brackets, straight like that.
I
I mean,
don't
which one is
I don't
the
understand.
best?
Using like or
I'm saying
regular
that
expression.
I'm saying that which one is the best to use? You use like two methods for us.
I use like and regular expression, right?
The one in brackets, the ZVP that you put together, and the one that you write.
You are confusing yourself with the equation. Is it the one I use like or the one I use regular expression? Which one? Is that what you're asking?
Okay, yeah. The one, yes, the one with regular expression. I said which one is the best to use? Can we just use the
Like
regular
that's what I'm
expression?
saying, that I'm just using. I told you that regular expression is just like, is similar to like, right? So I'm trying to do what you will do with like, how you can achieve a regular expression. So what we
Okay.
are teaching here is regular expression. It's more easy that, so when we now get to this question, the first one that will contain, that ends with this, start with this, was just like the same thing, easy. Instead of, if you don't want to use regular expression, you can use like. But when we now get to complex way of doing things like this, where you have to list something that contains V to Z. So instead of writing this long line of codes, you can just achieve that with this. Look at how simple it is. So the same result with just one line of code. Very something simple and clean like this. And if you are using this, it shows that you are an expert in SQL, not just a beginner. Because the beginners, your 3 months class, you don't even know that something like this exists. So when you are writing this, someone seeing your code will know, this is a pro in SQL, not just understand. So I prefer using this. I prefer this for something that has to do with this. But if it's these first ones we're doing, all these ones, so I see no difference. It's still simple. So you can actually use this. But when it gets complex like this, make use of regular expression, and your code will be more cleaner, and so that's it. But it's not mandatory, but using it that way is much better. Any other question? Usman, did you get the point I made?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So in
I
that
get the
case,
point. Thank you, sir.
that is the best way to do it. So you don't do it that way you are thinking of. You have incorrect answer.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. So any other question, once I stop recording, I want to attend to a question. So now it's because people will also come and watch the next cohort to watch this video too. So what you're asking now might just be what they have in mind too. So while I'm recording, I'm attending to questions. Once I pause it, I stop the recording, might just be just announcement. And any other question? All right. In the absence of any other question, so that is it about regular expression. But like I said, browse about it. There are some few things you can, more complex way to handle it, but this is likely what you always come across. So, all right.